Yo, what's up? This is Casual. It's gonna be super fast, maybe. No expectations. Anything could happen. This is the behind the scenes video. You are a patron, which is fucking awesome. Thank you very much. And I'm gonna show you everything. You're gonna learn everything. There's nothing. You're gonna watch this video and then you're gonna know how to make a casual TF2 video. So, we're talking about this video today. How have you played enough TF2? This is the video we're gonna be breaking down. There's three components mainly. The audio, which is pretty much everything up to the song part, and then the song itself, and then the video project where you put together all the video stuff. So pretty much most of my videos, I've done the audio in an audio program. This is a DAW, digital audio workstation called Logic. They're all good. You can do great things with all of them. I've just used this one for like 10 years. I know it really well. Or I feel comfortable with it. That's the better way to put it. And so yeah, so I like editing audio first. I think the audio is the most important part of my videos, and it needs to sound very distinct, and it's the thing I feel the best about being able to control. And so the way things usually start for these sort of like video SAE videos is that I have a script. People have asked me, do I just improvise it? Very occasionally there's like lines that I improvise. Most of the time I script things out because I'm just not that speedy and sharp. So yeah, so this was the premise I wrote. I think this is literally just kind of describing what's going to happen in the video from start to finish. And then here you see I wrote the lyrics down for the song. I think all this is the same. This life, I live this life that never happened. It was a fun idea. But yeah, and this is actually what I ended up sending to some of the people that I got voice lines from, because I'm not fucking notariable. I don't have the clout. I don't have the power yet for people just to be like, yeah, sure, I'll give you a voice line without knowing what it's about. People, no shade on people. But anyway, so yeah, so I'll show you how this is done. So I record little bits at a time. Here's the beginning.
You're old. You're so old.
Right? Super basic. The only thing that's happening here is a little EQ. The reverb is automated to come on later. It doesn't come on yet. But this is like one of those simple things that is nice. Some people have really fucking, like, I would consider good desktop microphones. I don't really have a good, what I would say is a desktop microphone. This is without the EQ.
You're old. You're old.
So it just adds some brightness to the top end. You hear it like this.
At least if you believe in dead.
Right? Really brightens it up and opens it up. And I actually use the opposite of that in this next section, where it does all of the
4,160 hours.
This is all, I'm just cutting a little bit of the low end here to get rid of the any crazy bass shit I don't want. But here I'm intentionally not brightening up the high end a little. I almost always do with this microphone, but I wanted this to sound kind of dull and like it was under a blanket or something, which it does a little. And this is all these tracks. These are just all the hours being read. They are all just being sent through the same channel to be given delay, which is basically echo. And you see, this is me turning up the delay.
1,855
and then it turns off, right, as the last one goes. Very basic. The wasted sound effect from GTA 5. Shamelessly stolen, and then this basically is just, it's like a wavetable multi-band distortion thing. We don't have to talk about it. Limiter. And this is just me being like, I want it to be a little louder. Gotta have a little more loudness. A seismic charge from Attack of the Clones, Star Wars Episode 2. This has become a big part of my life. Kind of came up as like a meme sound my friend recommended. And I'm only using the attack of this, so this is like the full sound. I'm using this to create width. Normally it's mono, right? And all we're doing is delaying one channel. So the left channel is being delayed to make a phase discrepancy, which makes it seem stereo. Makes it way wider, right? And we want it really small. So just the attack, just the, because this
You played on high
It's
tower.
cool, but there's just not enough impact. I want it to be a jump scare.
You played on high tower.
Also, there's usually at just the end of the chain, we just do a limiter to make sure nothing peaks past 0, but it takes some processing, so I have that off for most of this video. So here's the main voice being processed.
We're friendly on high tower.
Right, and so the same thing, we're brightening up the high end a little bit. This is to remove, this is like an OCD thing, no one gives a shit about why that's there. And a lot of this stuff too, a lot of this stuff I'm doing here in general is stuff that nobody's ever really going to notice, but it's just what gives it all a bit more polish.
You were friendly on high
This
tower.
is the type of compressor that
You've captured
compresses each frequency band individually. So for instance, I'm only going to be compressing the tsa tsa tsa, the s, those sounds that come out when I'm saying s, right? If I say the word I'm trying to think of a word now. Good. Good doesn't really have it as much of a high-end big bump in the amplitude, right? But if I say super, that's going to bump out a lot. So this is, they call this de-essing. I'm controlling that. The low end being controlled is very important because it just makes it more consistent. So like without that, oh, that's not. That's quite subtle. Is this working? Yeah, so you get 7 more dB again on that. Anyway. I don't want to, I'm already going OCD, retarded autism mode with this, but the big thing you actually care about, besides the multiband compression and EQ, is there's this phaser, which is one of my favorite ways in Logic to create stereo information. So a fun way to visualize that is, this is...
You were air blasted off the cliff.
This is mono information.
You were killed by an engineer.
Most voiceovers, it's always mono. It feels natural. Movies, most of the dialogue is mono, right? Dead center. It's not coming from all the way to the left side or right side, or it doesn't feel stretched and wide, you know? And this basically this phaser bass slowly comes on. You can see me turning up the output of it.
You've disconnected from granary.
And at the peak, it's very wide, and it has a very low rate on it, 0.02 hertz, so that's the speed at which it's going to actually change.
You wanted to go home on granary, but a quick one on granary.
If you listen to it, you probably notice it's kind of shifting around the stereo spectrum a lot, which is... It's interesting, I think. If I would have done this video again, I would have had it so that each time we do this...
Aimed it further, played on granary.
Each time we do that abrupt change, it would change where it's starting, the movement of the stereo field, because it's right now it's just like a continued evolution for like 2 minutes, so it doesn't really feel abrupt when it changes. Like,
and named it
so
further,
for instance,
played
if
on.
I go here,
And it mumble in between screens. You played on coffee.
like, it would have been much more interesting if when that hits in, it switches it jumps to a different point in that cycling through all the different stereo configurations. This doesn't make sense to you, you should definitely skip ahead to the video part, or just enjoy it and learn, who knows. The song I'm using here, Yume Hiko by Clavier, you can see here I've duplicated the intro. The song really starts here. You can hear it, this is where I repeat it, it's a little... you can hear a little... right? Because the drums are supposed to come in, but I'm going, no, we need one more bar of that. And I'll do a lot of that in my videos to get like exactly what I want from something. And I like to do processing on this to basically make it so I can have the audio a little louder, but still the voice will stick out. So I'm doing the opposite here, right? I boosted the high end of the voice, and I'm actually taking out some of that in this. And then these are also these are really sensitive frequencies around the 2.5K area. So if I take this out, let me take all the effects off. So this is what that's what the song sounds like normally, right? With EQ. Just dulling it a bit, and then I believe what is going on here. A little bit of compression going on. Again, I'm OCD about controlling it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't have to justify my actions, okay? And then this is stereo image, which is making it all a little wider. Before, after, right? Why the hell not? I think it sounds better for the purpose I'm using it. And so as the video goes on, I'm actually sort of slowing down these tracks. So there's no beautiful way to illustrate that this is a slowed down audio, but
house bugs at 6.
you can hear the pitch goes down as well, right? And that's sort of the theme. It just gets slower and slower as we go on.
Off King. Use the picture you played on Hydro. Maybe.
Right, and there you do a slow down at the end of the region. That's what this red shading indicates. Because we're going to hell and wondering if we've ever played Hydro. This is a tiny bit of a song called Bayon by Arve Henriksen. Super dope Norwegian trumpet player and singer. I love his music. It always gets me in trouble. It's terrible. So I've only used like 3 seconds here.
Maybe that was a dream.
Isn't that perfect? It's so eerie. I love that. Okay. And now we're having... This is the part where the video speeds up, and basically just the wasted sound and the seismic charge and the song are all just speeding up. I'm putting them more frequently, right? And this is kind of a lazy way to do it, you know, because it doesn't actually just increase in rate proportionately as time goes on. There's like little sort of stutters, right? But it is what it is. And we add this sound. It makes it seem intense. We add this scream. Right, and it all layers up and sounds kind of big and evil. This is it's called Nathan's Scream. I made these for my friend Nathan. He asked me to make a bunch of processed screams that sound super evil. So there's no effects going on here. This was made in like a previous project. It's nice to have SHIT like that lying around that you can just bring in though. Because I don't have to do 8 million steps of effort, you know, and every little thing I can just go, oh, there's this thing I've already put effort in before, and it serves the function I need now, and I'll just drag and drop that in, right? And all that distortion, random stereo modulation is already way more interesting than just a blank screen. And this takes us to the next part of the video.
Why are you sad?
Which we now have like a basic echo or whatever on my voice. We're also using a different sort of processing. I wish I could go back in time and tell you why. I was like, I don't want so much compression on this voice, but that's what happened. And yeah, just basic echo on that. And then we have, this is the end of that clavier song, so I don't use any of the parts with vocals, but this is the outro to that song. And then what ends up happening is it slows down as well. Right, that same trick before, the red shading. Really good, you know, fucked up vibe. The song fades in 4.6 by Super Silent. And all I can see here, it's fading in, fading out. I'm pretty sure I changed the speed of this as well, because Super Silent is the same label as that other Norwegian guy, Arve Henriksen. They will F you say K, fuck you up for using their music. They don't want anyone uploading it on YouTube. So speed's been changed. And then the big difference here is I'm using this phaser again to make it very wide and chaotic. So without that, right? See how much more like claustrophobic and up in your face that is, and just weird, right? That's what I wanted, and I decided I was like I think this rolls up, yeah. So the way it fades in. You have that high pass filter effect, right? Because it's like you don't know what that sounds like. Very basic. Right? Okay, cool. Slightly more interesting than just fading in. And then here we have my fucked up voice, my existential crisis.
There are so many ways I feel completely
which is just again a little more extreme now on my boosting the high end and my EQ. And then we have this pitch shifter plugin, which we are slowly mixing in. Which one of these is mixed? Pitch pedal wet. So you see it starts at 0.
many ways I feel completely insane.
And that's me mixing in 72% of the signal. And then we have lots of changes to this plugin.
The problem with you being old is that everything else is old. That's what makes you old.
So all this is doing, this is responsible for the sense of it going around your headphones all fucky in different locations and stuff. The crazy stereo changing information, and I'm sure these are just, we're using these crazy high ratio just to, again, get the most loudness.
Old. Feeling old.
And uniformity out of that, that monologue. And
starting new things develops because you know it means they will become old.
Right, so here's another process thing. It's being sort of auto-tuned first, compressed, bit crushed. This thing is designed to like change the timing of it by adding these little accents on the eighth notes of 9 dB. Makes it sound sort of stuttery and weird. I use this similar effect in How It Feels to Play Medic. And I'm sending it to another channel, which sounds like this.
You will grow to hate what you loved.
Which is the same thing. Like, let me show you. This is what it sounds like without sending to this channel. And then when I click this on blue, that's with it.
You will grow to hate what you loved. You never wanted to, but you do.
Right, so it's the same signal with another thing to fuck with the timing, but then we have this channel delay, which is basically adding a ton of additional width to it, right?
But you do.
Okay, and so that layers up, and I was like, well, let me just throw these on all the process channels. Now it sounds super crazy.
It's not you, it's me, it's not you, it's me, it's not you.
So here we have, there's a delay on it. Obviously it's echoing, it's not you, it's me, it's not you, it's me. That's what this is doing. This is the sort of robot-y pitch effect, because if we take this off.
It's not you, it's me. It's not you, it's
right,
me.
let me put that on.
It's not you, it's me, it's not you.
Right. And then this is just the pitch shift down.
It's not you, it's me, it's not you, it's me, it's not you, it's me, it's not you.
Right. I don't think this thing is very good. It's one of those things where when I was making the video, I was like, I already did it, and it's kind of chaotic and random, so it's fine. More of these screams. Again, I love that I made all these before, and I was like, I'm just going to drag these all in for the hell segment. There's just a simple stereo delay on it. If I turn the delay off, right, there's no echo. It just goes. Just the original audio, but we added that. This is Crying from freesound.org, which I've pitch shifted down and added stereo delay to. Because it originally sounds like this. Right, fun. And then we have another free sound thing that's being slowed down towards the end. Oh, which is just fantastic. Love that. And then we finally have this little bell thing. All this is the same audio as this with a fade in, cymbal delay to make it wide, and reverb. This is like a swell. You kind of anticipate this versus it just being right, basic. And then we have the final bits of audio here. You have my audio with basic, basic EQ reverb on it. There's a little more reverb on this voice at the end because all of these voices that I got from other people.
Just play one more game. Let's just play one more.
Casual.
Right? I put there's this big reverb that all through. I wanted them to feel sort of dreamlike. I have a tiny bit of reverb on my voice as well, so it didn't feel too dry. It felt sort of weird with no reverb. But I didn't want it to be as obvious as on these guys. And that sort of fades in as well. This is me automating. It starts with no reverb at first on those voices and comes in. And here you see a lot of the volume automations. So these are all the, Get a Whale, Bulldozer, Jacob, X10. These are all the audio they gave me. And I did different things on each of their mics to kind of make them end up sounding more similar and more professional. So almost all of them have this X Noise plugin, which is just designed to specifically profile their type of background noise and take it out. Like I think this is kind of one of the more intense offenses, I think.
Casual, you can't.
Oh my god, there's so many effects going on, but
Casual, you can't. You can't.
right, so you can hear that little hiss in the background.
Casual, you can't stay. Casual, you can't
And
stay
that
here.
takes it out. I put an EQ on next time.
Casual.
That's a little more low end because I thought he didn't have enough low on his mic. And then there's a little echo on him, and then this reverb, right?
Casual, you can't stay.
And him, I did these speed ups and slow downs, right?
Come on,
I
Casual.
wanted it to sound kind of weird, and then there's just a few bits where it repeats. You know that?
Here, let's go experience some.
And yeah, so everybody has their own noise and, you know, slight EQ. I thought Bill Dozer had a tad too much high end on his mic compared to everyone else. And that's how it all comes together. Bum freeze as well, similar stuff.
It's not your fault.
Oh yeah, and I don't know if I mentioned that, but I'm trying to level out their talking. You usually could do this with compression, but
And we can figure out how we feel afterwards.
that
Okay?
does affect the audio in a different way. This is something I also did throughout the project, and you know, you have to do a lot to kind of get the right volume out of everything because you usually don't perform your dialogue perfectly like a robot. Is that like when it goes, you've played on blank, because of that seismic charge that's going on at the same time, like you see here. I had to turn the you've up by 6 decibels so you could actually like hear it.
It first played on
It's
granary.
still hard to hear, but if it was lower, you wouldn't hear it at all. It would just be like played on granary. So yeah, so that's. I'm gonna end it with that. This is Banny's,
Casual. You can't keep worrying about how things could have been.
and so his sound hyper compressed here, and I agree. And this is what it would sound like normally.
Casual. You can't keep worrying about how things could have been
Right,
different.
that's a better clean sound. But this was so compressed because I knew I was gonna add it to the song, and when you add just this to the song, it doesn't cut out very well. So when you compress it a shit ton, it cuts through better. It's a fatter blade, right? That's not. It's fighting with the other sound easier. That's why they say never mix in solo, right? It's because this sounds.
Casual. You can't keep worrying about.
That sounds compressed in a bad way, you know. But that's when it's on its own. But it will sound good in context of the song. So we are now looking at the song. What do I say about this song? This is often how some of the TF2 songs start, is maybe I'm playing guitar or something, and I have just there's like a little bit of something that I like the feeling of, but I don't want to take it too seriously, and I just want to like make something in that day, you know, that I can use. And that's what my TF2 songs ends up being, because I'm not so perfectionistic about it. I'm just like, you know, it doesn't have to be like a perfect musical piece, right? It's more about a feeling and, you know, being a fun TF2 thing. Whereas, like, if I'm being more quote unquote serious about music, it's much more complicated, right? You become much more perfectionistic, and, you know, it's different for me. So this started with me playing this guitar thing, which was literally like an exercise to work on 2 of my fingers. I'm not going to talk about the mechanics of the exercise. That's just way too in depth. But yeah, and I kind of liked it, and I was like, well, I could make a cool little song out of this. That I just come up with this pattern to practice, and I was like, you know, I'm into this. And so it started with this. So fun stuff if you don't know a ton about music. Most guitar is double tracked, so this is 1 track. And here's another track of the exact same thing, right? I played the exact same thing twice, and you can see all these little fades. This is because I'm just copying and pasting the same thing over and over again, being lazy with it, right? Yeah, so for instance, instead of just having 1 guitar track like this, which doesn't sound very big, you record it twice and pan 1 left and pan 1 right. Which, if you already know what that is, you're like, yeah, casual, let's go, show me the real shit. So this is how I built this song, was that I was like, oh, let's do that part, and then I want to add a harmony, so added the harmony. And this is the plugin I'm using to simulate the amp sound, so I record, you know, direct into the computer, and this is what it sounds like with no processing. Watch this. This is going to take forever. Everything off. Sounds like this. Right? That's what my pickup actually sounds like when you record into the computer. I should just take. I don't need to take this off yet. This is obsessive. You're seeing the inner conflicts of my mind while I do this. So yeah, that's with its tone sounding good, and it's just sort of a reliable tone. And this is again, how much detail do you want to go into, Casual? I don't know. Who cares? Someone cares. I care right now to finish this video and show you what's going on. So yeah, and then here's it adds this. It's just the epic fucking chord progression that goes over this part, right? And same thing, this is double tracked. The first guitars are panned only slightly left and right, as you can see here, 25 out of 90 or whatever it is at the max, 63. And these new rhythm guitars are panned extra wide, so it's kind of like the first ones are wide in the center, and these are extra wide. And so then you came up with this melody thing. Which is pretty much the same processing, and it's on the center, except there's an echo to it, which makes it sound a little more epic, right? With and without the delay. So, with, without, right? It just sounds a little dry without it, and yeah. And then this is the climax of the song. I'll just show you the main components that we have going on. So we have the drums, I believe this is. Right. So these are the notes, little variations in the timing here. Like, look at this. Beautiful. Put this in a museum. This flam, slightly imperfect, right? Because it would sound like this if you just put them all in the same spot, right? But oh yeah, that's attitude. That's emulating real drumming. Okay. Okay, big deal, big deal. And this is a cool drum program because you can go OCD with how you want to process things like you would if it was a real drum recording, each different microphone. And I tweaked all these things just to have it be like quickly workable. Like, okay, the snare was probably not attacky enough, and maybe I didn't, there's a certain roomy sound or not roomy sound I wanted. But this was pretty simple, just to get some drums in with a little marching feel. That's what I wanted. Like a marching band type feel. You have this big gongy cymbal from Free Sound that's processed a ton, because what did this sound like to begin with? Let's hear it. It sounded very different, right? So, because I didn't like any of the cymbals that this sampler kit had. We have this nice pad, which is playing the whole time. Right, so it's a subtle thing, but a lot of subtle things add up to having like a big, really full sound, which is all what this was about. What is this? This is the bass. So I very lazily recorded each note at a time. Call me a fraud. I don't want to explain but yeah, I was lazy as fuck, and I was like, there's only 5 notes in this bass line. Let me just drag and drop it, make it perfect. And this is a subtle thing again. The bass is very low in this song. But it's just I wanted everything to come together at this last section to make it feel big, There's my basic processing. I mean, it's whatever. Right, so if we took those out, let's see. It's probably not sound that different, but yeah, I mean, it's all the stuff that you add up that fills things in. And there's like some little. This is like totally BS, but there's like some chimes in there that are really subtle. The big thing obviously is the vocals. I put these down really fast, and I want to show you how, you don't have to be a good singer really, but with some processing, you can, make it sound, somewhat cool and epic. So yeah, so let's listen to all the vocals together first. So this is what the first line's like.
This fate has beckoned me, return to Team Fortress 2 at once.
I would say that sounds very ugly and compressed. Absolutely. But it's so I could make it, cut out in the song, right?
This fate has beckoned me, return to Team Fortress.
This is the deep vocals, so I recorded the same thing 4 times, which is this.
This fate has beckoned me, return to Team Fortress 2 at once.
The effects that we have on each of these is a little bit of... So like, let me show you, for instance. It's going to be super cringe, but who cares? If I make it just to there, I'm going to turn everything off. There's way too much mastering, shit, whatever. This is what it sounds like, right?
This fate has beckoned me, return to Team Fortress 2 at once.
Right? We add this.
This fate has
Again, just brightening up the high end slightly, getting rid of any excessive low end energy. We compress it a shit ton.
This fate has beckoned me, return to
The point of compression is that we want to make, you see this audio waveform, you want to make these really quiet moments just as loud as everything else, because in a big quote-unquote rock track, you want it to stick out unanimously, right? Without the compressor, you might hear the loudest words way easier than the quiet words. This is more compression, multiband compression.
This fate has beckoned me, return.
And this is very extreme, but you do this to 4 tracks.
This fate has beckoned me.
And pan them all in different directions. Also, let me put this back in the... So this is a bus 4, this aux 3 channel. This is a group where I'm processing all these deep vocal tracks the same. And so if I take off the effects on that channel...
This fate has beckoned me.
It sounds a lot cleaner, actually. But
this fate has beckoned me.
Basically, this is more obsessive controlling and trying to get things loud and de-essing and...
This fate has...
Right, so that's all the gain reduction on... You can hear I've removed a lot of those things and really flatten the shit out of this. Again, it doesn't sound better in solo, but it works better in the context of the mix. So yeah, so for the layers, you do that. You probably only notice the deep thing in the song, which is fine. That's what it's supposed to seem like. You're just supposed to pay attention to that. But you put all these other things in there to kind of beef it up, right? So there's the octave up.
This fate has beckoned me.
And this note is terrible. I could not hit that note, and I didn't care. I just recorded it. But yeah, so this is mixed in slightly, again, some more effects.
This fate has
right, because you have just the deep voice alone.
This fate has beckoned...
With the high voice.
This fate has beckoned me, Fortress 2 at once.
And then we have this, which this part broke my voice. This, yarr, like it's all using your larynx.
This fate has beckoned me, return to Team Fortress 2 at once.
Right, so that's a really throaty version that I did. And it's just adding texture. I'm EQing out most of the low end and high end. I just wanted to cut through more, so with all those.
This fate has beckoned me, return to Team Fortress 2 at once.
Right, so they all contribute to the sound. That goes on. Then the only thing that's really added is there's like a lone harmony, which...
Source engine.
Oh yeah, this one's corrupt. That's weird. Let me play this one instead.
Accept your destiny.
Which I think is supposed to harmonize with this.
Accept your destiny.
And but yeah, we had the screams obviously, and this is so funny because let's listen to. I guess just listen to it in the track.
Source engine is the base, much stronger.
It's pretty epic, but these sound so shit in the just soloed. Like the way I had to get these to sound to like cut through. There's like some ugly reverb on it, and the compressor you can hear a ton, but those are just all the moves I needed to get it to stick out. Especially with screams, I find that you know, what it sounds like alone is gonna be very different than what it sounds like in the mix. So, but like for instance, one of these, I don't have the breath span to just do that whole line straight, so that's why you see all these individual tracks. But I'll show you what that sounds like without the processing, which is quite different, you know. So it sounds like. Let's see, do I have anything on the stereo? No, I don't. Yeah, but this is my real life scream. You gotta this one's better in person than on mic, but yeah, that's what ends up making that one sound good. Let me put this back in its place. And there's some occasional embellishments, like we have this little reverb guitar chord thing. Again, just all the helps everything flow very nicely. There's my Thunderbolt, and there's some other very subtle stuff going on in the intro. There's a cool little outro thing that I've envisioned so clearly when I heard it, but I kind of felt like it didn't fit in the end, so I didn't do anything with it. This is what that would have sounded like. Let me put the mastering chain on, just so you're not too clipped. Damn. See, now I'm like, dude, I should add that, but, you know. You know, all decisions can be made and justified, so get over it. I don't know if there's anything more to say about the track. Yeah, this took me, I mean, I did this in a day, but this one probably took me longer than other tracks, because I was kind of very OCD about the production and the way I wanted it to sound at the end. So, like the mastering chain, for instance. How do I do a good A-B of this? Let me see. Basically, I wanted it to be like loud as shit. That was part of this. Because there's... So, let's see. This might be fucking weird, but... I can undo the chain one step at a time. Okay, this is fair. I'm going to turn off the multi-bands. So... So these are just gain staging. I can't really tell you why these are there. This gives it a little subtle pulse, the compression. This adds a lot of low end. I'm not going to lecture you about mastering, but it's like the most subtle thing. Nobody's going to give a fuck. Slightly wider in this band. There's some reverb going on, some very subtle tape distortion. Now that I'm here, I'm like, well, nobody cares about this probably. Anyway, yeah, you can go hear the song in the video, but that's what's up. Now let's check out the video. Yeah! So what I do, right, is I export those audio clips that you heard before. Those are them here. Bring them into video project. And I do, there's a little extra audio things here and there, but most of what goes on in this is just the video stuff, right? What can I even say about the video? There's fun fact, we put these adjustment layers on pretty much over everything, which are going to slightly saturate, slightly sharpen the image. So for instance, without this on, look at that. Look at this. Look at the picture here, right? Look at this. Now look at it again. Oh, look at how much this is what it normally looks like, you know, but then you're like, we gotta, every color has to be delicious, you know? There's a lot of, like, you know, little vignettes here over the video, no vignette. vignette. By the way, all of my SFM clips, for the most part, are stolen. Every once in a while, I will ask. I mean, most of the footage in this video is stolen. Every once in a while, I'll ask someone to make me something, and they'll do like a custom thing, but most of it is stolen. There's some good stuff out there, again, with what I was talking about earlier in terms of how crazy do you want to be and doing every detail yourself. I'm happy to just search on YouTube and, you know, find a little 2-second thing from an SFM I like and rip it. Because, yeah, it's like hip-hop, too. It's like sampling, you know? I'm benefiting from the creative, what do they call it? The primordial soul, the collective consciousness, and what have you. We're all collaborating, right? So here is probably the best part of this are the shots that I did get, which are the high tower clips. These were all sort of staged. This is my friend, you know, and this is also my friend. But let me see if there's some bits that I like. So like this I changed my name to that and typed it in chat. Also, these are all my Steam friends, by the way. Yeah. The different hours in TF2 screenshots that are all being animated right here. So this is what my keyframes look like. You gotta ease in and ease out on all the keyframes. You'll notice too, pretty much all of my animations, there's like a slight rotation on things no matter what. I like to always, you know, not just increase the size of the image, but also do a rotation change.
55 hours.
It's just my style, I guess. I like it. I mean, you know, everyone should do it. Why not? Within the high tower clips, don't you like this lens distortion transition there? The way it bulges with the where is it? Lens distortion? Isn't that nice? There's some funny bits here, though. Some funny things people might not have noticed. So where do I go? So yeah, so this I like this. The guy's name who airblasted me is Trade Server Money Laundering. I made this really big and inflated. This little audio is literally just the kill feed that I added manually. What I did with some of these clips is I recorded them. Like, where can I find it? Let me see if I just search high tower. So yeah, so like there's a version of this clip that has no HUD enabled. I recorded a demo, by the way, as you can see, and then re-recorded it after. And then there's a version of it with the HUD. Yes, there you see the HUD. So I just cut that part out and made it bigger, and because I didn't want the rest of the HUD, but I did want it to see like, oh, I got killed by Trade Server Money Laundering. Like that's kind of funny, maybe. Transition here. This part as well is the same procedure. This one I kind of edited more. So this was my friend, and his name was Uncle Dane Milk Video on purpose, but I changed his profile picture to a cock. No one will notice that, but you know, imagine if you saw that, and imagine if this actually happened to you. This would be just a classic TF2 fun, pain, good experience. So this thing as well, this was all done with my friend. This was staged. And Votes for Placebo was my friend. I had to edit in the Overwatch profile pic. We did this fake chat. Saw you want the Gibus. He loves engineer. I think there was a what is this called? This audio, or sorry, Trading 2 is the name of this clip originally. So let me see. Trading 2. So yeah, so this was like the whole long cut of us doing the trade. I had to record this in windowed mode because it wouldn't pick up on my screen. But yeah, so we did a little role play. Hey dude, what's your favorite class? Engineer. Wait, what? And none of it ends up in the video. I trade him, yeah, the shitty NG just for the shitty hat. And then I rename it. I didn't have a name tag at the time, so I used a description tag, and it wouldn't even let me name it that because you can't put a slash in there. And I don't know. This is just a chaotic name. That was the point. But you see it so quick, you know?
Named it first played on.
Also, these total tricks of my videos. The flash of white light.
Played on.
Right without that.
Played on.
Nowhere near as intense.
Played.
Strobe warning. Epileptic warning. I'm sorry. Please don't watch my videos if you have epilepsy. Sometimes I like to do these with like colors. I think there's probably a point somewhere in this video where I do that, where it will be a red flash instead of a white flash. That's kind of cool. These are old clips. This is an old frag video I made. This is the first video I ever made. This is not my video. I don't have any Arena Granary footage. The thing about playing Asian pugs at 6 a.m. is true. A lot of this stuff is true. I mean, the getting told not to use the black box in my first lobby was true. I don't have a good clip of me having high ping, so that was taken as well. I gotta love this. So I had to, this was some guy's YouTube video, but I love the old footage of the old matchmaking system, you know? Yeah, nothing like a good eagle overlay. Gotta love that, right? Yeah, some good stuff. So this is a fun bit. So this was heavily edited. So you see each one of these frames is like the animation of the window coming in that I had to custom mask. You see this mask kind of sucks, but nobody's gonna notice. It's so fast. This is a screenshot of my browser, right? And then this is where I did the actual editing, where I typed in insects and bugs xxx.com, and then this is a so I love this little icon I added of the bug, and I added the text extreme pump. So I take away the icon, right? Then you see this is what it actually looked like. Server not found, because of course insects and bugs does not exist. This is the fear factor clip that I added. So this is actually fear factor. If I take away the pixelization, it's some bug challenge, right? I couldn't actually find bug porn. I actually tried to look for it and I couldn't find any. I was gonna pixelate it no matter what, but this is, hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully this was disturbing or something. And then there's the definite mumble shot, this is also totally shopped, right? Because it's me with all these famous pro players that don't exist. And these are the types of things I do in Photoshop separately and then bring them in and animate. Let me see what else is going on here. Koth King, gotta love this. I actually do remember, this is, very nostalgic and true for me. Not the learning Chinese part, I did not do that. Again, this part, all too real to me. Gotta miss that old TF2 lobby layout, man. What a different world that was. Hydro, maybe you've played on Hydro, and this is where it starts to get a little crazy, right? This area is way too dense for its own good. I wish, there's lots of little joys here, but I guess it all gets evenly distributed, right? Each person might pick up on some small different detail, and everyone has their own unique thing they noticed. So this is a screenshot of doing 32 kills in the comp matchmaking game, and everyone else does like 1 or 2 kills. Truly painful. Remember TF2 in-game matchmaking? This is illegal. So I blurred her tits because I don't actually want to get in trouble in my videos, but I do want it to be pretty edgy. This organs exploding. This was a good SFM someone made. This is a fun classic image of mine. Love that. Some TF2 memes here that are classic. Some classic TF2 meme moments. Yeah, look at that. Quick flash. Cyberpunk, the map, the showstopper, crossdresser lover ad. Look at this. Truck. This looks very cool. So I have this astral wormhole stock video over it. Probably makes it look more intense, right? And then we also have this red vignette that increases as time goes on, right? So this is what it looks like normally. And then you add this red vignette that increases over time. It just adds to the edge of the frame, and then this. Right, the sense of the universe flowing through everything. And so yeah, you have like top 10 reasons why TF2 sucks. The Banny brain meme, some good stuff there. And then we have this, I overlaid these feathers and stuff. These are footages from the I-32 LAN, the first TF2 LAN. And there's lots of little adjustments I make to all these clips, right? Because like this one didn't have enough contrast. It looked like this originally, which didn't look right.
Because it happened.
So you do that. This one I made look a little more fucked up with this convolution kernel, right? This would have been fine, but I was like, nah, make it kind of TV looking, fucked up. Yeah, more of these. I got some crazy clips I've added here. I don't even know what to say. this is a cool little sequence here. So we have, what is it? LSD.mp4. This was supposed to be like a drug simulation. I was looking for schizophrenia simulation videos and I couldn't find anything I really liked. So this is some video some guy made. Pretty cool, right? And as you see, it kind of is the outer vignette of the video.
Things develops because you know it means they will become
Right? So it's masked just so you see the outline of it. And it kind of...
mold.
You're focused on the center of the image, but it gives it this cool effect like you're moving through a tunnel while you're watching. There's... Yeah, it's just lots of crazy footage I got from different places here. And there's some text going on over top of it, basics. I figured a lot of this was incomprehensible. Like, the summer version to starting new things develops. Like, I don't think that's an easy phrase to imagine from an obscure voice. And it all sort of strips away at the end here. There's also a film overlay. What even is this? I can't remember. There's a subtle little... All these specs are being added around this.
You will grow to hate what you love.
See them, hopefully. And yeah, we have the hell sequence. This is so funny. This pickle, the Ingy pickle, pickle Rick. I don't even know what this is. This SFM. It's so silly and goofy, and I just love this. There's some flashes you see of noise being added. So that's without it, right? When the audio goes nuts. And again, I remember clips like this too. I had to do a lot of basic color correction to get everything kind of in a similar style. Because this is all most of this is taken footage from somewhere. And yes, I have seen every SFM related to depression and suicide or neurotic breakdowns, what have you. This is like a basic thing you do where you layer the video. I wonder why there's two of these. This is the original video. I'm adding lens distortion to make it bend like that to the corner. Because this is without the lens distortion, this is just such a boring clip. And you layer it twice, and you do this blend mode. See, like if I line it up like this, there's no issue. But so I duplicated it and offset it so that there's it's like two clips, one with a slight delay, which is where you see this double layering. And it kind of evens out at the end because it starts to get to the same location. But this is just a blend mode that chooses the lighter color from one image, which kind of makes it this cool stacked look, right? Versus if I had it like on overlay, it would look like that, which is actually, you could argue, is more evil. And maybe I should have done that in the video. But and then there's like a blue vignette on it as well, which flashes with the bell.
So done, man.
This is a very dark. I wanted this to be very low brightness. There's some TV static. What else is going on in here? I'm really just looking for Easter eggs at this point. This is, I gotta love this. Okay, so yeah, I love this. That was my friend as well. Greek TF2
Afterwards, okay?
economic advisor. I just love this.
Casual.
Like the little Easter eggs, like those kind of names. I think that's very funny. So this is where the Banny shot finally got added in. This is the Banny audio that was super compressed that I showed you earlier. This is manually adding delay, right? So we have, if I delete this.
Casual. You can't keep worrying about how things could have been different. We never really had a choice.
Right? And that's all very subtle, but it helps it fade out a little more smoothly.
We never really had a choice.
Right? Very subtle, but necessary. And I like this, I don't even know where I found this image, but the soul versus no soul, free will kind of stuff. Because a big part of this video is the dilemma of, should we be so hard on ourselves? Because nobody really chose to play TF2 from a certain perspective. We don't have free will. Anyway, I don't actually have a crazy real philosophy conversation in this video. I mean, that's, basically what's going on. You get some color correction. I just sync up all these clips. Sometimes you speed them up, add some color correction. You have the text with a mask, wiping from left to right. And that's the video. You put it together in the program and you export it. I hope you enjoy it. Leave comments, give me feedback. If you're watching this, I'll go over anything you need. Alright. Love you, boss.